Welcome, everyone, to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily Marie, and it is such a pleasure to have you here today to co-create with you in this space and to talk about all things your energy. Hello, welcome back to the podcast, the show. Thank you so much for being here in this moment. We're going to give ourselves a moment to be fully present. That is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Maybe feel into your lower abdomen, somewhere actually even lower, maybe between your sacral chakra and your root chakra. Just feel into that part of you and breathe in. As you breathe in, there's energy running for you there for your highest good, and release. Did the energy need to go somewhere else for you? If it did, that is perfectly correct. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about discernment, good and bad energy. What is good and bad? It's so funny because the guides, they go, all is not what it seems. They kept saying that over and over again. It's like, all is not how it seems. And I'm like, that's so intense, which is why they make me giggle when I say it. It's not that we don't want to take it seriously, because we do, but we can also have a lightness with it, right? When we're talking about serious things, it doesn't mean we have to lower our vibration into the gravity of a topic. Not that this topic is grave, but there are aspects of this topic that are. And what this episode is about, and what, all of the episodes that I've done up until this point and moving forward, everything's built on all of these episodes are built on one another. There's a method to this. There's a reason these different topics come up at the times that they do, that the interviews happen when they do. This is all building to something. And in this episode, we're going to talk about discernment. In upcoming episodes, I have more interviews. We're going to talk about how you can close a portal. So discerning, is a portal good or bad? And then how do you close a portal? We're also going to talk about working with some of the elements. And as you progress on your own journey, what lights you up? Which elements make you feel really good to listen to do yourself, to talk to other people about? What lights you up? What just makes you feel that presence? That's your calling. That is your calling when it comes to your own personal divination of energy work, of energy healing. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. So there are so many different modes and ways of energy healing. And one of the ways I've talked about before is past life. So even when we talk about past life, there are so many different, think, for example, we use, foods, the best example the guides have given over and over again. But say you and I go to a Mexican restaurant. Well, what part of Mexico are the owners from? I mean, let's just assume they're from Mexico. And, they serve things differently. They use different spices. And the same goes for energy work. I meant to say, what region are they from? I couldn't think of the word. That seems to happen a lot when I hold space for this podcast, doesn't it? Words just evaporate. It's because I am grounded in this energy and I'm holding space for what's meant to come forward. So when we take a look at, say, the example, and this conversation and this example is building to the topic at hand of past life regression, or just past lives in general, there are so many different ways to go about looking at past lives, evaluating past life, doing past life work. And in my own practice, there is past life. The guides always call it, it's not even just past life, it's past, future, current life. operations. Like there's always something going on with past life. I see it especially when I do small group work, which I'm going to be doing a lot of small group work this year, which I'm so excited about. My heart just expands even talking about it. And we get together, and I started to notice over and over again how many past lives were interwoven in between the people who were joining these groups. They were past life, either sisters or lovers, or there's parent, let's see here, parent child relationships. And that's why there's this familiarity. And so the guys are even saying lovers, which makes me chuckle because, we've all come together as friends in this lifetime. It's just kind of funny to think about, isn't it? We were lovers. Okay, now we're sharing recipes. Okay, so there's so many different ways to do past life work, and not all of it is going to be good for you. Not all of it's going to be good for me. And some of it's going to be really, really helpful. And what we want to do is we want to take a look at, where does it feel good? Where does it feel right? Where does it not? And we also want to make sure, this is another part of this aspect of this discernment, but because we're meant to learn from each other, from so many people, it also can mean that someone who maybe is, let's say they're operating from like a narcissistic human point of view, right? And I'm talking about, right now, I'm going to use this example from the perspective of, say, someone who's on social media, okay? And they are presenting whatever it is that they're presenting on social media, and yet they will speak amazing truths. They will be connected to the light. And they will be giving themselves space to receive downloads, and remember, downloads are just opening up your energy further. It feels like it comes to us quickly and like it's inspirational, and it literally energetically does feel like a download, but it's just your energy opening up to more and more. And when you create space for that, that is when the information, the downloads come forward. Okay, so they're sharing good information, but maybe they just, they rub you the wrong way for whatever reason, right? I mean, that happens all the time. And, let's say they're operating from their humanness is operating from a narcissistic point of view. Okay, it is, but they have some good information. That's the discernment, because what we think is, okay, the teacher, my teacher gave me the rules and I followed the rules. My boss gives me the rules and I follow the rules. My career gives me the rules and I follow the rules. And then when it comes to energy, the rules, the universal laws of energy, are very basic. And then it's up to us to say, okay, but what feels good? What is my truth and what isn't? And it's confusing sometimes. It's confusing when we hear really good inspirational things from someone we don't feel connected with, or who we don't feel like we can be fully safe with. We are supposed to be safe with teachers. Jobs and careers make us feel safe because we get paychecks. Yet we need to say, this is not an all or nothing game. The energy game is not cut and dry. It's not black and white. Can we say that nowadays? I don't even know. And we need to make sure that when this is why that carving out space and time for yourself is so critical, because it's going to really help you hone in on your energy. Okay, I feel good right now, or this feels good to me right now. That's so important. So the other thing is, let's see here. The guides are bringing up this example. I have had people who want to work with me, and then they find out I don't do formal past life regressions, for example. Okay. So taking this a step further, remembering that, okay, we use the example of someone who's online and who's maybe operating from, a very human place, yet also being very energetically aligned as well and in tune. And then you take a look at how they are energy operating in a human body. So now, as you build out your own personal energy practice, you're going to come across a lot more things that are not embodied in our 3D world. Meaning you're going to be perceiving, you already are perceiving so many energies that are simply in energetic form. They're not in energy form plus human form. So what we want to do is take a look at, okay, as these energies come up, how do you feel? What do you notice? And it is okay to give yourself space. There have been times where, in my own personal development and in my own personal practice, energies have come through so boldly, so strong that I was like, whoa, hang on a second. I need to catch up. I need to recalibrate. If you're of the light, then you will give me this space and you'll give me time. It did. Usually things that are of the dark and negative of the dark are pretty abrupt, pretty sharp, pretty harsh. Um, but when you take a look at these things that have come through boldly that sort of surprised me, if you will, they actually had a dark look to them as well. And I have seen things that are light that are dark, and I've seen things that are dark that are of light. And this is where your discretion comes in, and this is why the guides say, not everything's as it seems. I'm going to use the US government as an example. The government was put in place to take care of the people. Are they taking care of the people now? Let's not go down that road. So the guides just brought us back to our light. Okay, so remember your light. You're going to run some energy. Spirit, please run energy for me right now for my highest good. Feel that goodness in. So as your practice grows, know that you are going to see things of all different worlds. And you can give yourself space and time to say, I don't need to know everything right now, or I just need a little bit of breathing room. Engage with your spirit team to help set those boundaries and give you more information. And know that just because you're perceiving something of the dark, it doesn't mean it's bad. Just because you're perceiving something of the light doesn't mean it's good. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Crazy good though. So think about how the shadow aspects of you, the blockages of you, those are shadows, but those are you. So those are dark. But those certainly aren't bad. I mean, sure, we give them a label of something that we want to bring to the light, but we also don't want to chop off or shun that part of ourselves. Of course not. So taking that a step further, that's an example of something that is of the dark that is actually good, your shadow side. Further, a lot of earth energies, and there are other world energies that are cumbersome, are, the guides are using this term. I don't know what the term is. I keep wanting to say granular, but just, they have this depth, this strength, this grittiness to it almost. And the energies look dark, but they feel good. Earth energies, earth goddess energies, those came forward in a client session. Good, good, good. And you will know when you give these things space and time, you will know, you will get clarity. And that is the number one lesson. Just remember your light and allow yourself space and time for more information. This is what makes you powerful. You have the choice. You don't just have to wait for all this, energy to pop in and squirt around over here and do this and do that. No, you get to choose. You get to choose. And giving it space doesn't make it all go away. Giving it space further empowers your energy and your light. So an example of things that are of the light that are interesting, I can't say bad or good, is that there are energies that have schliffed off from source that look light and deliver incredible information, really good information for people. And I'm thinking of like one group in particular. It doesn't matter the name because there's so many groups out there. And it gives me the willies. I don't even know who came up with that term. It just gives me the ick, right? Doesn't feel great. That's just because it's not meant for me. But there are other people who have healed their lives, who feel amazing, who are doing so well, who have engaged with that group. So why am I to say that's bad? All I'm saying is it's just not good for me. So it's okay when we look at these things to have this discernment and say, you know what? Not everything has to fit for me. And it can be a jumbled mess. We're not looking for perfect. Our partners aren't perfect. Our children aren't perfect. Our parents aren't perfect. Our friends aren't perfect. We aren't perfect. And we can't expect energy to show up perfect for us either. There was another time where I was holding space for a client and the past life thing did come up. And there's this massive energy that was holding them in a place on their body in this past life, by the way. And then there's like an energetic link that comes through to this lifetime. And this energy was huge, easily one of the biggest energies I've seen. I've seen energies take up entire 2-story households or take up like an entire top floor. And this energy was bigger than that. The human part of me just slid right back and I was like, ooh, I was like, I was like, I can't do this. I actually surprised myself, you guys. I just leaned back. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And of course, when you'll find this as you hold space for yourself and others, whatever comes up, you have the ability to clear, transmute, support yourself or someone else through. Because when you're holding space with the intention from your light for the highest good of all involved, you have the tools at hand, you have the team at hand. But my human reaction was, oh shit. I was like, this is, whoa. And this thing looked light, but it felt awful. And I didn't give all of these details to the client because there's always an emotional lesson tied to these things. And that's the part you want to focus on. We don't want to focus on what is it, what's its name, where's it from, how long has it been here? I mean, you can, if that's what lights you up, then by all means, then that's your thing, then you can. For me, we've got an hour and this client wants to heal and this is showing up for a reason. So we focus on the emotions. Same with physical ailments. Physical ailments they're all there to teach us things. They're all emotions. So, and I'm trying to, so I, of course, I called in more support on the spirit team and really went to work. And of course it did clear. It took a lot of effort. It took a lot of effort, a lot of energetic effort, more so than usual. And that's fine. And the client knew, because you all are so intuitive and I attract intuitive clientele, knew what this energy was relating to. And she in part also did her own energetic work to help it clear in this space. And it did. So everything is not all that it seems. And that's why too, when in one of these upcoming episodes, we talk about portals, portals are very general. Portals are just energy changing, right? But of course, there's a lot of different things we call portals in the human world. And not every single portal is bad. Most of them are. Normally, if you see a portal, it's probably because something's bugging someone. We don't tend to notice the good ones. But this is why we want to have discretion and discernment, and we want to work on the mindset of, I don't have to be, okay, I either 100% agree with everything this person or this energy is saying, or else I don't. It's not all or nothing. It's not either or. You are a living, breathing, ever evolving energetic organism that gets to evolve and gets to change and gets to decide, okay, this feels good now, this doesn't, this still feels good. You're going to ebb and flow. And so know that you just get to give yourself space. I think that's one of the biggest lessons. It is one of the biggest lessons I'm seeing right now on the earth plane, is how much time and space we have. And then at the same time we don't, which is ironic. But really, in order for us to feel that presence, when the reason meditation and energy work feels so good, is because it helps give you presence, right? And that's truly what and we want. We want to feel good. And presence lets us know it's all going to work out somehow in the long run. So, but it gives us that good feeling in the short term and then brings us back to that slow, aligned path, experiencing life. You're meant to experience life and feel good now. There is no destination. There is no destination. That is one of the craziest things. As I see, I don't even know if it's the universe, it's beyond the universe, right? I do not see all of it. I probably see a point like 1% of it. But when I can pull back and see all of the interconnectedness, all the ways the universe is constantly in motion, constantly creating, it's like, wow, we have choice. You have choice. We get to create. We get to take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to feel good now. I'm going to create good now. I'm going to focus less on the destination and I'm going to be present. And that is enlightenment. We think, okay, once I get to enlightenment, I'll be free, I'll be happy. But there really is no destination. There's just creation. So what do you want to create for yourself today and in this moment to feel really good? And that is another nice little lesson and topic on top of discretion with energy. Oh, goodness gracious. Amazing, amazing stuff. Spirit's bringing in this blue green energy right now for us. Let me see here. Okay. I am really excited to be announcing some projects that I've been working on. The app is launching. This is phase 2 of what was the Inner Light Circle, which I have closed in a happy, grateful, sacred way and birthed something new. And I really realized I wanted to create a space that gives you permission to fly, gives you permission to sing with your own energy. That's the goal. It is a framework for you to go deep, go wide, go bold, go beyond with your energy, help you soar, help you heal things quicker, help you heal things smoother. I had I had a lot going on over the holidays with some really important people in my life. And the way that I was able to move through these things from a place of grace and understanding and power and, grief, yet seeing the bigger picture, yet calling in even more of my power from it. That is what I want for everyone. And that's what energy healing work has done for me. And that's what I want it to do for you as well. And when we realize not all energy is as it seems, it gives you more of that power. It gives you more of that feeling of choice, of time, of presence. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here, for bringing more of your light into this world. Until next time. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and make sure you've signed up for the newsletter for special insights, offerings, and announcements that are just for you. This podcast and website represents the opinions of Emily Marie and her guests to the show and website. The content should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for informational purposes only, and because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical advice, recommendations, and questions. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast and website are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors.